Alright guys, this is a Craftsman, I think it was a Craftsman that we got with that Poland. It was a 2-package deal. And hopefully this one's not as crappy. Well, it's pretty dirty as that Craftsman, but she's looking pretty dirty. So with this one, it's missing the your top cover right here. It's missing this screw and this screw, so we'll get this other screw off and see what we get. Case is in good shape. Let's get that out of the way. It's like an 18-inch bar. Real similar to that Poland, no, 16 inches. Real similar to that Poland we was looking at or messing with. But you can see here, it's got this screw's gone, this one's gone. I know that it is there, thankfully. So that one's there. So let's see what we got underneath the lid here. Hopefully nothing's missing. Real similar to the Poland, which, yeah, freaking home saw, they're all pretty much the same. And we got an air filter and a carburetor. It's a good start. Well, that thing's just toasted. It's falling to pieces. And let's see what we got. Fuel line's rock hard. Looks like everything's there though. So it's got compression. So we'll check and see. Yeah, it looks like a brand new spark plug. Let's see if we got some spark. Yeah, loose spark plug. It's always nice. Plug don't look too bad though. This one, I don't think it has an actual model number on it. It's a 16-inch, 36cc. Let's see what she says down here. 2001. Nice. Yep, 36cc, 2001. Craftsman with a skew. Alright, let's see if we got spark. We on? Yep, we're on. Oh yeah. Alright, so we got spark. It's good. It's turning over smooth. That's good to know. That thing is, it's got the same crappy 2-piece design muffler that Poland has. These saws are like really similar. I'm sure the manufacturer's all the same on these, so it's all, you know, mass produced. That's the way you expect, right? So we'll take a look. And we'll get some plastics off of it. We get some tools together. We'll get the bar off and the chain off. Get the sides off. Take a look and see how grody this thing is. Alright, so far, same as the other saw we got from these people. They didn't take much care of it. Used it and abused it. This thing is caked. You can see right here your coil. That garbage coming out of it. All around the coil it's the same way. So all that has to be cleaned out. This coil doesn't need adjusted on this one, so it's one thing to make note of. It's filthy. Thankfully it has spark, so we're good there. The fuel lines are shot. Ooh, look at that. See if I can get you down on there. There's a little bit of funk at this roller. That's what just came out of the tank. I didn't think anything was in it. Right there. Yeah. Kind of smells like gas. But clean that up real quick. So whatever that is, it's in the tank. Tank's going to need flushed. So far we're covered in dirt. We need fuel lines without a doubt. You can see down inside that tank. Now, it's got a filter in it. Get you up here where you can see, but that fuel is disgusting. There is a fuel filter in it. Let's see if we can get that out of there real quick. Set to the line. Not even hooked to the line at all. So that's about pointless being there. What else we got in there? I think it's the plastic piece that holds the cap in place. Yep. Get that out of there. So there's that. Those are an easy fix. I think I showed you guys before how to fix those. If not, I'll show you on this one. So there's that. And I don't see any line anywhere. So I don't know what's up with that, but get this back on. The primer's the same way. It goes down. This one actually pops up on its own, but I'll go ahead and replace it anyway. Carb's loose, but the fuel lines are rock hard. So this, for people that's not familiar with it, I know I've mentioned it plenty of times. If you're not real familiar with your the routing on your lines, take a picture of it. The top one would be your main fuel line. That one goes to the primer. And yeah, this is just like this pulling, so it doesn't have the rubber grommet to go through. It looks like it's just straight plastic. That line actually looks, yeah. So our main fuel line is actually snapped off at the tank. Wasn't even in it. Primer. That one I think is actually, look at that. That stuff's so brittle. That one actually, I think is, yeah, barely even into the plastic, so might as well just cut it off. Get the carb off and out of the way. Jeez, that one snapped straight off. Choke. There we go. So it takes care of that. Here's a carb. So we'll check. Pop the top. We'll take a look, see what's in it, and then take a look at the diaphragm and the needle. Yeah, man. But you can see there. Let's see. We have a Phillips. Really? All flatheads. Get this primer off so you guys can see. That's going to be kind of hard to see because it's all faded. I was going to show you the little diaphragm that's in there, but this one I know I've showed you these before. How you got your long tube and short tube. The long tube runs, that's the feed that goes back into the tank. So when you're priming it, pulls through the little one, goes back to the tank through the long side of the tube. So make sure you don't lose your screws. You're gonna need those for your new primer. Crazy dog staring through the window. And so what we gotta do now is get it cleaned up some. I mean, even pull cord. You can see here. Look how nasty this thing is. You can see it just curling up. So that's going to take some scrubbing. The brake for the chain, you know, to lock it the same way, covered in oil. So those will have to be cleaned up, and fuel lines. Let's take a look at the carb real quick and see what we got. Let's see if there's a bunch of debris in the top real quick since we're on a roll here. But like I was saying with these, this one's real similar to one of them old Polands that we done. And if you got to replace the carburetor on this, it's less than $20. And that's that's everything you need. That's all new fuel lines, primer, air filter, fuel filter, carburetor. I mean the whole fuel system upgrade and a spark plug air filter. Yeah, see, here's one big problem with this one. Get in there where you can see it. That's all. You see something here. That is all fine particles inside the top of this carb. If you guys can see that, let's see if I can get it dumped into my hand. This thing is packed. You can see some of it there. It's all just real fine particles of wood. That's some of it. There's still some in here. So we might get lucky. I'll spray it out with some carb cleaner. So we might get lucky and might just have us a good carb. Yeah, I have to find another screwdriver, but definitely if they had it running, it was running like crap and dying out, guaranteed. So we might get lucky and have a good carb. May not have to worry about it being rebuilt or replaced. So we just have to get the bottom apart and see what we got there. The chain bar has a bad spot on it. If I can get it up here where you guys can see it or not. It looks like they wasn't rotating it like they should. Here we go. You can see there's, you guys probably won't be able to see it, but it's all, you can see where the nose where it's spinning around. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, but it's shot. It actually needs a new bar, but for getting it running purposes, we'll just flip it over. When we go to fire it up and get the chain and everything on it, we'll flip it over, throw it all back on for when we go to start it, just see if everything works. Hopefully that carburetor's good. That'll save us a little bit of money, a little bit of time. And I should have, I don't know if I got the right diameter, but I should have the stuff we need for the fuel lines. I definitely have a primer that'll fit it, so I'll get everything together and we'll hit it. Now as far as the muffler is concerned, we got the same crappy setup that other Poland had. You can see there's your heat shield. It's the same way. It exits the back of the muffler, comes out to the side, you know, against the side. You can see here's the heat shield. You can see where it's just all built up really bad. We'll get that off there. Inside of the muffler, same way. I mean, it's all built up in there really bad before it just cycles around in there before it comes out the back of the muffler. Inside of the front, same way. And there's the baffle and the your spark screen. It definitely needs cleaned. It's pretty dirty. I mean, there's carbon built up everywhere, all over everything. So all that's going to have to be cleaned. There's actually, I got no real good way to show you guys, but some of the screen is actually plugged up, so that's going to have to be, give it a good scrub down. And the cylinder, the exhaust port. I don't know if I can get you guys in there. You can see there's got a, if I can get you in there where you can see it, it actually has a, well, you can kind of see it there. I'm going to stick a screwdriver in there too far, but let's see what we got here. Here's a little one. You can actually see it actually has a lip. It's got carbon deposits in it there. So we'll have to get, we'll get that all cleaned out. You're just going to be real careful, you know, go jamming stuff in there trying to clean it and smacking the side of your piston and tearing it up. So we'll get something and we'll get all that out of there. It's got a pretty good ridge on it right there, so we'll take care of that also. And to get all that cleaned off, we should be able to start putting it back together. The carb looks decent. That's got a bottom's good and clean, but I'm going to get some actually out. I'll stop tomorrow and pick some up. We'll get some good carb and choke cleaner. Give this thing a good bath, get everything out of it. Throw the carb back together. Start getting the case cleaned up, which shouldn't be that bad. I mean, they definitely didn't take care of it by any means, but compared to the other saw we was just messing with, this one's not that bad. So we'll get it cleaned up, get some fuel lines ran through it, and see what happens. Hopefully she'll run good. Here, well, let me see, I'll show you real quick. I'm gonna have to remember to flush the tank on it, get that crap out of there. Let's see what we got, if we got any bar oil in it. Yep. Yeah, it's about half full of bar oil, if that's what's in it. Looks like it. But with this, I want to check those little nipples in there are replaceable. I don't have any, but yeah, it's still good and flexible, so it should be alright. These are real easy to put in. The way I've always done, you just get it lined up. Here we use this one. And here we can see, just get it lined up in there. That's how I always do it anyway. Just get it lined up. Just get a screwdriver. Just go around pushing her in there. Pops right back into place. Nothing to it. That's it. It's back on. This end, just gives a little bend there and hope it doesn't break. That's it. Ready to rock and roll. Get it put back on until we do the fuel lines. So now, get this old dog cleaned up, start throwing it back together, and see if she'll run. So it's got spark. As long as we're getting fuel and everything else, we should be okay. The muffler I will take and do like I done that Poland. I'll get this all cleaned up inside and out there, and we'll patch it full of JB Weld, let it set, drill that out, because I have, here it is. See, I thought I had another one. Yeah, I got another one of these off of an old Poland. We done that muffler mod on. These things are like the perfect size for that. So you just got to drill it out and pops through, trim it off a little bit, and JB Weld and ready to go. So I'll start getting this thing cleaned up, and we'll get her back together and see what happens. Well, here we go. Craftsman's all back together. There's all the plastics back on. Definitely needs cleaned a little more, but it's back together. And this one, I can honestly say, the fuel system on this one, for some reason, man, you talk about fighting tooth and nail. I should have left that off so you could see it, but this is like the old Polands, which are all basically the same thing, just mass-produced, cheap, and it's got the real thick plastic case. You gotta cut your line down, and kind of like how that one is to a point, but with these ones you got to make it like 1.5 inches or so long up the line to feed it through. Put a little tooth cycle on it, you know, get it to feed down. But so we got cleaned the carb up real good. Bottom diaphragm didn't look the world's best, but we're going to try it. The needle and everything was moving free, so we got the carb cleaned up real good, best we could, I should say. New lines and new primer, so all goes well. We'll take it out back and see if she'll fire up. Alright guys, we got high winds, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me, but got fuel in it. We can get her to start priming up. Let's prime it up. Alright, let's give it a shot, see what we get. Okay, that's a plus, better than that other one. See how well it starts back up. And I can't even tell if you guys can see it. I'm surprised. Pretty good. Blade flag's dull as hell, but I'll try cutting anyway. No, not too bad. Can't believe this thing fired up and ran like that. Man, I got a lot of glare. I can barely see out through the lens. This is the muffler that was on that Poland. So this is the one that we took. Because the actual exit for the muffler is here on against the back, and it blows across the heat shield on the front of the motor, on the front of the casing there. So this is the one where on the Poland we filled back two vents with JB weld and then opened up the front right there. So now it's flowing out the bottom of the, coming out the front at the bottom instead of going out across the top at the back. But the bar on this does need changed. It's wore out pretty good. I flipped it over before I put it back on, but I mean, it lasts for a while, I guess, but probably better off just replacing it. I would if I was going to keep it and use it, but got the nose all greased up, so it's ready to go. I can't believe this thing started right up. I'm really surprised. Old dog runs good. Yeah, the screws for the top. That's the one beginning of the video I showed you. I think the only screw that was in it was right here on the top cover. And I'm pretty sure I got some more down there from old parts. I think I got two Polands down there. They're part saws. So between the two of them, I should be able to come up with a couple of screws for it. This saw, can't believe this thing ran and fired right up and ran like that. It is 2001 36cc. The model is 358.350370. I am really surprised that this thing ran. I guess if you needed to order parts for it, you need a model number. The family number is 1PWES.0424CS.EM. Some of these old saws, they ain't got an actual, you know, like, this says Craftsman. I mean, you don't get no more basic than that. I mean, Craftsman, 16-inch, 36cc, runs great. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll leave it at that.